Okay, great. Scott, Lewis, I think we should get started. We have around 45 participants right now. Let me kick off the session. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you are having a great day. Before I continue, if you can give me a thumbs up, I hope my screen is visible and I'm loud and clear. Perfect, great. Thank you. So, today in this meetup, we are going to demonstrate you a use case of how you can make use of export to PowerPoint functionality, which is one of the SPM features, which has come along part of our Tokyo release, which happened somewhere last year. But because it's a good feature, we thought of to continue have a one meetup to make sure how our users can be benefited out of it. Before we go ahead in the detail, a couple of housekeeping items. There will be plenty of time for a Q&A after the presentation. Still, if you have any questions during the presentation, you can make use of a Q&A feature of Zoom to ask your questions. Feel free to put your questions over there, and I have Luis and Scott, who are also the experts in the SPM and ready to help answer your questions. This session will be recorded and we will have an open discussion after the presentation because the whole idea of our meetups to have open discussion to understand how you are making use of these features so others can be benefited out of it, or if you have any kind of questions, we are there to support. Finally, at the end of the presentation, we hope you are able to take a short survey at post presentation. Your feedback is very much appreciated. Safe harbor. We will be utilizing the export to PowerPoint feature on Utah today. Utah would be the version where you will be, or we will be demonstrating it. As well as we may make statements about our future releases that may be forward-looking statements. With that, let's quickly jump into the agenda. We will start with a quick intro. Uh, we have a couple of questions in terms of poll, and we request you to take those polls so we can see where you are with our SPM journey. Then we will get into the devil's detail, where we will be covering the overview of export to PowerPoint functionality of SPM. Later, we will be doing a deeper dive, considering what out of the box functionality looks like, how you can be benefited out of it. But more importantly, the option where you can build your own templates to generate the PowerPoint presentations and share it further. Post that, we can have an open discussion just to make sure if there are any open questions or any, as part of your experience, you have some kind of sharing which others can be benefited out of it. With that, again, thanks for joining. I'm Shivan Agrawal. I'm a product success manager for the strategy portfolio management product success team. I will be your host today, and I have been working on ServiceNow platform since 2018 in various roles like process business analyst, implementation lead, product owner, etc. I would like to introduce Luis. He's one of my colleagues, and he's also a product success architect for the SPM success team located in EMEA. Luis has spent 11 plus years implementing SPM solutions, and 4 of those with ServiceNow, helping customers with best practices, design, implementation, and adoption. Luis, thank you for joining. Same goes to Scott as well. With that, we have a quick poll for you, and I request you to participate in that because these kind of polls are really help us out understanding your transformation journey within SPM. So if you can participate, we see your responses, we see where are you, and accordingly we can make the session better. Okay, so far we have 50% participation. Okay, going up. Let's target, if possible, at least 75. I see number is going up quickly, which is a good thing. Okay, still waiting. We are almost 80%. Okay, I think then we can end the poll and see how results look like. Okay, good. Most of the numbers what we have, perfect. So here what we are seeing, most of our customers are still on the manual journey where they are manually collecting the information. A few of them are making use of the feature, and almost 25% are doing live, which is also a great use case. So thanks for that. Let's quickly jump to the second one. How do you report your project status report to? Okay, that was the first one. Yeah. So I have seen most of you were doing or reporting the manual reports or work collating the data manually when it comes to create the PowerPoint presentation. So maybe if you are not aware, so were you actually aware about this feature? Either yes or no, or you don't even know what it is. Okay, so I'm seeing most of them are not making use of it. Okay.
Vishwan, can you go to your poll number? You're on poll number 1. You can go to poll number 2. Just a slide.
Oh, sure. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Thanks.
Okay, we got 85% participation. Okay, let's get into the results, how that looks like. So, okay, 70% of our current users who have joined this meetup are not really making use of the templates. Okay, please remember this. And I would request once we are done with the presentation, we would like to hear why you are not using it, just to understand if there are any specific constraints or you were not really aware how best you can make use of it. With that, let's move ahead. I think we can stop sharing the poll. Perfect. Let's move on. So today, as I said, we will be doing a deeper dive in export to PowerPoint, a feature of the SPM, what it's all about. With that, I'll talk a very high level and then we will get into the details. So this is a feature which allows our customers to directly export the data into the PowerPoint. What this data we are referring here. In SPM, we have this feature available for project status report, project details, you have portfolio plans, goals, APM, multiple areas this functionality is available. However, in today's session, considering the time limit, we will be more focusing on the project status report. And as I said, this is not just limited to the status report, it is also available on the SPW, your strategy planning workspace, from where you can export your portfolio plans and goal. It is also available on the project workspace for project status as well as for the project details. The best part is, as part of this feature, you get few out of the box templates, but the more focus what we will be having today, how best you can create or you can build your own templates depending on your business need. And to do that, the export option, whatever you use to download or to export these reports, these are going to be available at multiple places. As you can see on my screen, you will get on the project workspace to export your status report. For the project status report, it is available people who are using the old workspace as well as the new workspace. Export status report option is available on both the places. When it comes to the project detail, which is right above the project status, this is only available in the new workspace. Similarly, if you are making use of the SPW, strategy planning workspace, there also you have an option export to PowerPoint, where you can either export your goals or, as I mentioned earlier, your portfolio plans. And as I said earlier, in today's session, we will be more focusing on the project status report, considering the use case what we have built. With that, I'm quickly going to play a quick video which will give you a very high level overview, and post that we will get into the detail. So I'm going to play a video, and let me know if it's audible.
Export to PowerPoint enables project managers like Paul Martin to quickly and easily generate project status reports from both the classic and new project workspace. Paul has a status report due every Monday for the Acme New Hire Surveys project. That used to mean he had to spend a lot of time copying and pasting data from Project Workspace into his company's PowerPoint template in their required format. But now, with just a couple of quick clicks, Paul can instantly export his project status report to his company-branded PowerPoint. He can create a new report or select an existing status report and export it into any number of personalized, user-branded templates. Or he can use the out-of-the-box project status template provided. The completed PowerPoint is automatically downloaded to Paul's system. The template determines what fields will be populated and the format that will be used. Data related to those fields, and only those fields, is sent to a processing server where the PowerPoint is generated. Export to PowerPoint uses a stateless protocol, and any data sent to the processing server will be immediately discarded and not stored in the server. The out-of-the-box template provides Paul with a project overview and summary, charts showing planned and actual costs and resources, upcoming and completed milestones, as well as any risks, issues, decisions, actions, and changes. And with self-service ability to tailor these PowerPoint templates as desired, including colors, data fields, branding, and more, it's now easy for Paul to create, review, and share great-looking status reports with project stakeholders. Export to PowerPoint is a huge time saver for Paul. Now, instead of time-consuming copying and pasting data to his presentation, he can easily export to PowerPoint to create project status presentations instantly that are formatted exactly the way he wants them to look.
Okay, I'll pop up my screen again. So, before we talk about how to customize your or create your own templates, there are a couple of things, or I would say a setup, what I'm calling here as a configuration workflow. Let's So the first step, which includes installing the plugin itself. So here I have given you the URL, which talks about all the details, but the key option over here is to find the plugin, download it, install it, which is going to make the export to PPT option available in your workspaces. The next step, primarily, this is for the admin users, and I will specifically call out a use case over here. Considering we are supporting or making use of ServiceNow, we all have a central team, which we can call as admin. So this step is more for them to make sure to allow users to create the custom templates. There is an add-in which needs to be enabled on the PowerPoint. So this specific step primarily talks about that. Once it is going to be enabled, end users will be able to add the add-in. Obviously, we will be showing more in details how and what add-in we are talking about. End users will be able to see or add that add-in as part of their PowerPoint, from where they will be able to create their own PowerPoint templates and they can upload them to make use of it. Please make sure if end users are expected to do this activity in terms of creating their own template, there is a specific role, what we call sn underscore ppt underscore export dot ppt underscore user. So that role must be associated with the user who are expected to make use of it. And as I said, once all these things are available, end users will be making use of the add-in to create their own templates, which can be further utilized. You have heard me talking about the templates. What are these templates? If you can see the screenshot, otherwise I will also show you in the screen. When you go to the navigator and if you search for the PowerPoint templates, you will get an option of PowerPoint template. When you click on it, it is going to show you all the available template. These are the default ones. Plus, if you have created any custom template or you have configured your own, here you can see as part of a report, you have different things like the project status report, project report, your APM report, what we have already spoken earlier. But as I said, today we will be primarily focusing only on the project status report. So with that, let's get into the detail. You have already seen the video, but I would still prefer to get into the system, and the sequence would be, first, we will be covering what out of the box export to PPT looks like. Then I will show you one template which I have configured. Third, we will take one of the templates as an example and we will customize or configure it further. With that, let me pop up the screen. And here, if you see, let's go step by step what I was talking about. If you type PowerPoint, you will have an option of PowerPoint templates. When you click on it, it is going to show you all the templates. If you notice over here, for the status report, you have two templates. This one is a default one, which comes out of the box. This is the one which I have created just for the demonstration purpose. Okay. So, but yeah, this would be the place where you can create your own templates. We will talk about the steps when we will be talking about configuring your own templates. But first, let's try to understand how out of the box template works. I have one of my projects open. I'm using a new project workspace here. You see these three dots here, you will be having the option export to status report. This option will only be available when the plugin is going to be installed, which I have covered as part of my configuration workflow. When you click on this, it asks you, in case you have multiple reports available, which report you would like to choose. I created this one today. So I'm going to select the latest one, and then it asks you which template you would like to use. So as part of our first use case, I'm only going to generate a default one, and I click on export. You can only make use of this feature when you are making use of or creating the status report with the help of the ServiceNow. And that is where the benefit comes into picture. You are already doing the activity in the system. So without spending much time or manually collating the similar data sets, you can just load the report, and this is how it is going to come up. So this is my default status report, which covers a project overview, status summary, talks about the cost, how are you doing with respect to your plan and the actual cost, resourcing allocations versus the actuals, talks about the key milestones, risks, issues, decisions, actions, and so on. Basic functionality again, but this is how your out of the box template looks like. As part of a second step, what I'm going to do, I use the same template as out of the box to configure the one, but I try to put it as a one-page summary, and that is what my sample report looks like. So if I click on this, I click on export. This is my sample report. And if you see, I'm using the same data set which is available on the project status report, but it is in the specific format the way I want it. Okay. So I just collated the overview in the tabular format. I put the summary in one table, and then I wanted to report on all the different dimensions. You might be noticing over here for the scope, I have something in text, but for the other dimensions, I'm making use of the indicators. This is intentionally because I will also be covering how you can make use of the similar indicators, and hence I kept it in text only. Now, let's think of an example where we want to customize this report further. And as part of that, we are going to put some kind of branding as part of this status report. Then I would like to add a couple of additional fields from, let's say, from my project. I would like to change the background of this template. I would like to have one option as a default one, which is nothing more going to be the open text, where if there are any kind of notes as part of my presentation, I want to capture, but every time I really do not want to create that text box manually. Okay, so all these things, how best we can configure is what I'm going to show you now. And that is where we will start from the scratch. You remember this window where I have the list of all my templates? What I'm going to do, I use this template to generate my custom report. I have this available here. I open that. I download the one which is already available. Let me click on the download. Let's open it. Okay, now let's start. I'm just skipping this one for now. I'm going to the second slide for the demonstration purpose. Here, if you see, you remember I was talking about the add-in, which was more of the admin activity to make sure that add-in is available. So for that, you really want your admin team to configure that as part of your PowerPoint. And once you do that, you will be able to add it like this. Here, you have an option of ServiceNow. When you click on it, you will get more details. Before I go and configure some additional fields, let's do a little bit of formatting over here. So what I want to do, I want to put the logo. So let me go here. I have one available on my desktop. I'm going to make use of this logo. I just simply paste it here. I want to change the background. Let me select the format background. I go to the solid fill. I select a very simple one. I want to change the format of these tables as well. Let me select this, here this, here this one. Okay, now I also want to add one text box. So let me move it a little bit up. I go here, I enter a text box. Instead of a text box, let's make use of a shape. Okay, this is my very generic one where I'm going to put any of the commentary or I want to capture the notes during my meeting itself. So I'm putting it like this. Fine. Now let's think of other examples. I want to add a couple of additional fields. For example, I want to know what is the investment type for this project. I also want to know configure the sponsor over here. And that is the place where we are going to click on this add-in. It is going to give you this menu. Here, you will be having type. Because we are working on the status report, we are going to select the project status. Here, you will be having different data. So let's make use of a text because this is going to be the one where I will be adding a couple of fields from my project. We can do a dot walking from here because the status report is part of a project and I want to pick up something which is available on the project form. I'll select a project. I click on that. It asks me to select a related column from the project table. This is nothing more of a dot walking. I identify a sponsor. Let me copy it. So here it automatically generates the variable which is going to pick up the sponsor from the project. I copy, I paste it here, and I can adjust it the place wherever I want. So let me quickly change the format of it. Okay, looks good. Similar. I'll paste it here. Here, I'm going to type a sponsor. If you want, I can add additional fields over here. Let's pick up another one. Investment type. I pick up the investment type, I copy. I do not want spend to date or maybe a reporting period. I want to replace it with the investment type. I delete. I paste it here. Let me have the same formatting how others are having. And I change this report period to investment type. Okay, perfect. This looks good. I'm going to move it little up. Let me decrease the size of it, and I want to add something as notes in general, which I'm going to do it here. Notes. Let me put it here. I'll adjust the size of it. This looks good. So we have done a couple of changes, right? I kept the sponsor. I replaced the reporting period with the investment type. I kept the logo, changed the background, and wanted to have some text field by default available. Along with that, I want to have another one. And let's say I only want my resources status, right? So I copy, paste the same slide. Let's use the source. But I'm just going to delete rest of the things here. Okay. My idea is, so here, I'll go back. Let's make use of other feature now. So far, what, is there a question? And if you're okay, can you take that later? Or maybe you can type your question as part of Q&A. Okay, so here, I now want to add, let's say, a line chart or a bar chart. If I select a line chart, the default option, what I have over here to add my cost plan versus actual. I go ahead, I click on next, I copy, and I paste it here. I'm not doing much of the formatting, so let me keep it as is, but this is my another slide. Okay, so I'm done with this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save it. I think this is the name, so I'll just hit Control S. Close. Now, let's go back to our available templates. Here, what I have to do, I have downloaded the template, which was already available. I modified that. I have added the things or the items the way I wanted to have it. I come here, I create a new one. I'm just giving it a name as Meetup Demo. This is going to be a status report. Here, I'm going to now click on the attachment. I'm going to choose the file and I'm going to choose the one which I have created. Okay, say open. And then I hit the submit button. Now you see I have a meetup demo as a new entry. Let me go back to the project. I'll quickly refresh the page just to make sure it shows me all the latest changes. Okay. Here, if I go, I click on export status report. I select this one. And now you can see you are having a new entry here as meetup demo. I select that, click on export. Let's open it. And here we are. Because we never modified the first one, let's continue with the others. So here, if you see, everything is coming. I have the sponsor. Looks like my project does not have any sponsor name. But if you see the investment type, it is showing me the strategic enabler. It is picking up a value. I also have the note. This anyone can be used to provide their comments. Next, because I have added, I wanted to check how I'm doing in terms of my cost, plan versus actual. That's also coming up. Background is intact. I have my logo over here. Another thing, if you remember, I mentioned here for all the other parameters, you are getting the indicators, but for one of them, you are getting it as a text. What it is and how does it work? And let me configure that as well, and we will re-download the same report. For now, I don't want to save it. Let's move on. If you again type the PowerPoint in the navigator, you will be having an option as PowerPoint formatter mapping. When you click on this is a place where you can create one. So I'll take an example. If you see, for other than the scope, let's say for the resource, I'll quickly open it here. You have an entry where it is talking about the table which you want to pick, which column in that table, and what kind of formatter you would like to use for this one. This formatter has its own details. Let me open it. This formatter talks about different conditions. If the value is yellow, red, or green, accordingly, what kind of shape it should pick up, which color it should pick up. We have all the color codes over here. For the demonstration purpose, what I have done, I have already created one for the scope. So let me hit a new. Here, I'm going to select my project status table. Column, because I want to do it for the scope. Let's search for the scope. I pick this one up. Formatter, because as I mentioned, the way we have seen for the resource, I have already created one for the scope. I select this.
Hey, man.
I hit the
Good.
submit
How are you?
button. Okay, so now I have set up the formatter for the status. Let's see how it is going to show me as part of my new export. Go back to the project, hit the export, select the report, meetup demo, and say export. Let's have a look. Now, if you notice, for the scope earlier, where you were having the text, it is also giving you the same indicator. Let me go back to my presentation. So we have covered how out of the box export to PPT looks like, how the template looks like, where you can find the template. We also covered how you can build your own PowerPoint templates with the feature. You just have to pick up an existing one, or if you want to create a new one from scratch, doesn't matter. You can do that. But yeah, you should be knowing the place where you will have to upload. You will have to create a template and attach the file. We have also covered how you can change the formatting from text to some kind of indicators that we have also covered. With that, I'll come to the end of the slide. So this is what we had for today.